Hi, I am Dazza Greenwood, and this is another tutorial prep session getting ready for the AI Agents and Law Stanford workshop to kick off Future Law Week this coming Monday, April 13th at Stanford Law School. And I am just so delighted to be back with a future law friend, Marcela from Brazil, who's going to help with this tutorial to get everyone skilled up on using Codex in the desktop. So hi, Marcela. Welcome from Brazil.
Hi. Hello, everyone. I'm so happy to be here, and I will be learning with all of you how to deal with all these agents. So, thank you, Daza. Thank you again.
Thank you. And as usual, you're being a little bit modest because you're at least a couple steps ahead of everybody, having already gone through some of the exercises, which you're um, more than a couple steps ahead on. So with that, let's talk through this. So if you don't mind screen sharing, we can sort of talk through how others who are using Codex, and the Codex again is the open AI agent that we'll be using for the workshop. If you're an OpenAI person, if you're Anthropic or Google, we'll use other agents. So here we are at computationallaw.org. So where do we find the link to download the agent? We'll start with that. What to expect, AI native, workshop leaders, before you
So,
arrive.
it's here.
Aha, here we are. So what do we have here? OpenAI Codex Desktop, and that's the one that's going to be most accessible to most lawyers and business people and non-technical people. It's a desktop app. So let's see what happens when you click it. Aha, a download page. Perfect. And so how do we find that? There we go. We scroll down a little and what did you do?
And now you go and you look for a download for Windows. And I have to say something for those who are watching us that sometimes my computer will appear something in Portuguese. Don't worry, I'll guide you through that when it happens. So,
Oh,
yeah, so we just download. Can I click so everyone can see?
good idea.
Yeah. So then it will be downloaded, but just because I already have it, you have to come here and install the Codex in your desktop. And then you'll be all set. It's really easy to use it.
Beautiful. Okay, so now we'll fast forward a little bit because you've already installed it, and let's take a look at what the desktop app looks like and the journey for understanding it and using it.
So it looks like this. It's already what you have to have it, when you start the process. It will ask you if you already have a project. So you have to choose a file to start. And it can be even as we're going to try in a few minutes, I guess. It's you can have like an empty folder. There is no problem about that, but you have to choose a folder, not a file. And I'm telling you guys that because I was trying to choose a file first and it drove me crazy. So it is a file, not a it is a folder, sorry, not a file.
Indeed. And let me sort of double click on that for 1 second. This is actually very interesting. It's very important. So part of what's different about this desktop app for Codex, same with Claude's desktop app and same with Google's, which is called Anti-Gravity, is that you're now bringing the agent onto your computer and you're giving it a folder, like a workspace to operate within. It turns out this is very, very potent and it allows us to do work that's a lot closer to how we already work. So when we have a chat interface, we'll kind of go to the chat interface and sure, you could upload a document or some number of documents, but you're kind of doing the work over here. The difference now is we're bringing the not just the model, but as we'll see in a moment, a model that's topped off with a lot of autonomous capabilities into a workspace that's similar to what it would be like if you were working with a peer or a colleague or a subordinate or your boss for that matter, but basically another person who has able to do the same kinds of things like open a document, change a document, create a document, like put things in subfolders, go to the web and download things like very, very different kind of threshold for productive work when you have things with so many capabilities. operating inside of a work environment that you, the human, can also see and work right alongside the agent in. So this idea of opening a folder, I'm glad you emphasized it. It's one of the primary characteristics and distinctions for this agent kind of flow. So right now we're looking at a new project that was in a folder that you joined a
Yeah.
tutorial earlier today, and this so we kind of see some of the residuals of that previous work. But let's get into a brand new folder so it'll be kind of like what it'll be like for people. So how do
Yeah,
you?
let me take a step back because as you can see, I already did a lot of things here today in our training. So when you start the Codex app, you it will ask you to transfer a folder, and I'll do that now. So you come here. This is an empty folder just for demonstrating to you, and then you select, and it's here. A new project. No, nothing yet. Just
Perfect.
new.
Perfect. Yep. And so that's very similar to what you'll do the first time when you open it up. So you're in a folder, and this is a folder that we set up called that you set up called training. So now we
Yeah.
have an empty folder. How wonderful. Like infinite possibilities, empty
Yeah.
folder, blank canvas. And
Yeah.
you are the artist. So let's put some things in here that we can work on. So I have a thought for what we could put in there. What I was going to suggest is if we go back to the workshop page, the
Okay.
hard way to do this is to do all the work yourself. So my thought was going to be we take the background readings and we kind of copy and paste them in. Here's some of the readings. But in this case, I'm going to suggest you go up to the URL bar, the domain name, and we copy the URL for the workshop, computationallaw.org. And
Okay.
then once it's copied, we go back, let's go back to the agent and we'll have the agent do the work for us. So this is a
Okay.
task that would have been somewhat tedious of going and getting the background readings and copying them into that folder. Instead, let's instruct GPT 5.4. I would say something along the lines of go to this site and then paste the URL
Yeah.
and find the um, background readings section. And
Oh, background. Guys, if you see something written in a very wrong way in English, English is not my first language, okay? So forgive me.
um,
Background. Okay. Find the background what?
I believe, let me just look here. I believe it's back. Let me read it. Background reading
Okay.
section and um, save a copy of the three recommended readings
Did
into our folder.
readings into our folder.
Yep. And then I might say, I might tell it like PDF or text is fine.
Okay. PDF or text. It's fine.
Yeah.
Can I send it?
And yeah, and then let's send it and see what it does. So what I think will happen is it may ask for more permissions depending on how you've set it up. See, and it gives you little updates. I'm checking the site, exploring it. So right now what it's doing is agent stuff. So it's like doing a few things. It's searching the web. It's soon it should say that it found this, and then once it finds the site, it's going to use other tools to traverse the content on the site until it finds the right section. And then so it says I found the three that was quick. Now
Yeah.
I'm trying to download them, which is going to be interesting because each one of them is a little different. So this would have been the same puzzle that we would have had to do. Is like, oh, one of them goes to a PDF, the other one goes to a blog post, the other one goes to something else. So it's going to have to solve little puzzles. See how it says shell there? It said for a moment. Shell is
Yeah.
wonderful. That is a big toolbox full of solutions that these things have called bash commands. And so this is the same kind of stuff that software developers and engineers have when they're at the terminal, so they can do all these cool little actions of like getting information, modifying it, duplicating it, moving it from one place to another. It's just tons
Yeah.
of little tools. And it turns out these agents are really good when you give them the shell at using these bash commands. So you don't even have to know any computer science stuff. You can
Yeah.
just tell it.
Good.
We just like tell it the outcome that we want, which is all I know is I want these three readings in this folder, and it goes
Yeah.
and figures it all out using computer
Yeah.
stuff.
So should I answer yes? Do
Oh,
you?
do you want to allow downloading the sec? I
Yeah.
think that's a clean yes.
Yeah.
Oh, and I
Yeah.
would actually say yes and don't ask again is what I would do.
Uh,
But now we get into your comfort level.
yeah. I'm sorry. I didn't even see. See,
Oh,
I was not reading, which
not
is very,
yet.
very important.
Yeah, this is what happens. I fall into the same trap of either being too tight with my permissions or too loose with the permissions. So this is one of the continuous roles for humans is to be aware, especially of how much autonomy we want and how much permissions we want, and to make sure that's proportional to the risk.
Yeah.
For your personal laptop, it may be much lower risk. If you're on a business laptop and you have policies to follow, you'll want to be thinking about adherence to those policies, that kind of stuff. So
Yeah.
it
So it
says
says the downloads were succeeded. Yay.
as local HTML copies. So I would say one more th thing. Oh, so it's not quite done. Uh, I would add one more command here, and I would put in here, be sure the final version is plain text like Markdown, not HTML, so I can read it.
Like marked down?
Markdown. I'm sorry, this is now me. Like we should really be doing what you're comfortable with, but it's easy to when you have an HTML document, it can be there's a lot of like garbage in there, basically, a lot of
Okay.
code and things like that, and it could be it's actually not very nutritious. It's not very high signal for an LLM to read all of that HTML code just to get to the words.
Okay.
Whereas if you get a what's called a markdown version, which we'll talk about in the workshop.
It's like this. It's just that I don't know these expressions. Like this marked down.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Plain
Not
text like HTML. Um,
ML.
exactly.
Right?
Yep.
Okay.
And now it will just do a very quick extraction and then save a plain text version, which is going to be very few tokens and very easy for the LLM to read and to reason about without a lot of like garbage in there.
Oh, good.
So we're
This is
learning.
very good for my future PhD research. I'm excited.
Yes. Now, while we're here, could we do Alt Tab or however you get over to the folder, and we should now see what was an empty folder should now have some things in it.
Okay, I'll go from here because my computer is a mess. But let's try to find the folder.
Yeah, so's all of us. Train.
Yeah, no, but this is my life actually. All of it. Let
Yeah.
me try. I don't even know where my folder is. So just a second.
Wait,
We will find it.
I think it was training.
Yeah, where is it?
Oh, here's another thing you can do. You can go to
Oh,
the
I found it. I found it. Just in time. Yay,
perfect.
it's
Now look at
here.
all this. So let's see what we have. Um,
Can I
how do
open them?
yes. So this one is the HTML, so that will open a browser. That and then
Okay.
that's the plain text. And actually, you might want to open one and then the other, and you'll see the
Okay.
difference. So that one will open a browser, and that has got a lot of stuff in it,
Yeah. Oh
which
my God.
is
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
yep.
So
And
not
so
good.
not great for the LLM. So and every one of those images and things like that just takes up a ton of space. Now, if you take the same content but click that one that you're on now, you'll see it's just this beautiful, plain, like high signal, low noise um, text document. Ooh, I wonder what it's
Oh,
doing.
good.
Yeah, look at that. It's exactly the same
Yeah.
information, but look at how it's just just the pure words.
Yeah,
Um,
amazing.
and then if we scroll down, yep, AI era.
Wow.
Part two, execution, etc. So this is just very, very simple for the LLM and honestly for people as well to read. So now what we have is a really good starting point. So now let's do some agent stuff. So now we've
Okay.
got some stuff in here. So one thing I might do while I was here, I might take the HTML three versions in that, or actually you can tell the agent to do it. So it's done that. So what you can tell the agent to do now is say delete the HTML versions and just leave the text versions. And this is great. So what I was my first instinct was select the HTML versions and manually delete them. That's okay, but you know when you're if in a big project you might have 50 or 75
Yeah,
old documents or something. Having
yeah,
the agent do these bulk commands is great, and you don't have to write a script to do it. You don't have to do it manually. And once you start gaining some trust in the agent, and if you can instruct it well, it's a really powerful way to do major information processing as well as deep work and analysis. Okay, so now what we can do is let's work with these. So the first thing I would do is say, hi, like I'm getting ready for a workshop, and these. Oh yeah, let's give it permissions. Oh, good for you. Yep.
what
Uh,
is he asking? I don't know. Remove. Oh yeah,
you
yeah,
might.
yeah,
In
yeah,
this case, you should probably just say yes once because when it comes to deleting things, that's
yeah,
an
yeah, yeah. I
example
know.
of a higher
I know.
risk, right?
I
Uh,
know. I know.
so he,
So what's next?
so next is two things. Number one, if we go back to the folder, we should
Okay.
see in a moment that the HTML that it's now a much cleaner folder with just the nope, not yet. So
It's
any
asking
moment,
me something. Do you want to allow elevated access to the delete saved HTML copies?
I
Yes.
think definitely.
Yeah.
And so what you will see when it's done doing this in a moment is that all of those folders, all those files are, yeah, there we go. But they're gone. Um,
Yeah.
and so interestingly, it now actually has pure text and markdown for these, but that's fine. It's very little, very little data. So let's go to the agent and let's kind of tell it to help us now. So something that you can do, just as an example, is you could when you go back to Codex, you can say, first of all, I would give it a little reinforcement. I would say like good job or that's
Okay.
great, so that it knows that it's doing the right things, because
Yeah.
that's useful. So next time we tell it to do something like this, it's like, I know how to do this. Like I'll do this series of five actions the way that the human wanted me to do it. And so now I'd say, um, please help me prepare for the workshop by giving me, and then here's a little trick. You can enumerate the tasks when you wanted to do more than one thing, and it helps it think right, and it helps you understand a complex output better. So I would do number one, like uh, dash, um, a very concise summary of each of the three documents.
Concise. It's with a Z or
Oh,
S? I
as
don't.
it well in American English, it's an S.
Okay,
I
good.
don't know if how English or
That's
others do it.
okay. So a
Um,
very concise.
Summary, and then this is critical of each of the three documents, and that way we'll know what we mean because there's two copies of the documents in there, but it will
Yeah.
totally infer this correctly. And then number two, yep, dash. Um, give me a concise analysis of the common themes,
Analysis of what? Sorry.
common themes. I guess I don't know. I'm just kind of making this up, but I think this will
Common
be
themes.
useful. Themes,
Yeah.
and then the last thing would be three. Um, what should I be thinking or wondering about this topic before the workshop? Maybe like that might be nice. That
Yeah.
So if I was in your shoes and I was going to a workshop and I was having an agent look at the readings, I would say something exactly like this just to kind of get
If
into it.
I was, if I had this training before, it would help me so much for my NYU speech yesterday. So to help, with my ideas and all the things that I read. So yeah, this is super helpful. So
Cool.
let's see
Let's
what
see.
the answer will be.
Yeah, and now this will be a fun place to look at the output. So I don't know if you can, or if you or others can see, but there's a monitor of like my video in the middle of the screen, and if that's
Oh,
on your
sorry.
screen as well, we should just move it out of the way a little bit so people can get the enjoyment. Thank you. Of So it says I'm reading the plain text copies we saved. Um,
Oh,
it's now running content path. It's identifying each one uniquely. It's now doing it's got like uh, how much the total count is for each one. Oh, that was fast. So here's a very concise summary of each of the three documents. Here's the common themes, one, two, three, four, five or so bullets. And here's the things to be thinking or wondering. Really, really useful.
wow.
One other
Wow.
thing I'll show you is if you click on this, um, and then go to the lower left with your cursor. There's like a little copy button that shows up a little higher. Um,
Higher?
yep. And then out to the right, if you kind of click on like one caution, the third reading, like kind of the lower left of the text,
Oh my God. Here?
a little higher, like the last
Higher.
sentence is one caution, the third reading was only partially recoverable.
Okay. Okay.
So when
Okay.
you click there, do you see how there's
Here.
like a little copy
Oh
button?
yeah, 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 yeah.
So if you click that, it gives you this is not well documented, but I do this 100 times a day. When I get something I really want, or if there's a lot of stuff I want in there, I'll click the copy button, and then I'll go to the document where I'm doing my work, that the agent is helping me with,
Um,
even if the agent doesn't know it. And then I'll be like, okay, I want this very like high signal like analysis, and I want that little summary, and I want these five options, or whatever the good thing is when I'm done working with the agents, and I'll put those in like my work document.
okay.
And so like this little copy button is
It
invaluable.
copies everything.
Ev-
Everything.
Everything in the current output.
Okay,
Um,
okay, okay, got it. Yeah.
and so sometimes I'll do that like across like two or three or four of the outputs that I really want. But then frequently there's like I don't need the output that says go and download three things now,
Yeah,
transfer
of
them
course.
to a new. So I'm a little selective. But when I get something good, like this one honestly looks great. Like I know these
Yeah.
readings, it's why I selected them. This is high quality analysis, I assure you.
Yeah, yeah. I'm sure.
Um,
Yeah, I
so
can see that.
So let me show you one final thing, what
Okay,
we're learning together, which is let's give it one more little task. And
okay,
so you can do anything that you can dream of, like from your professional career or your PhD program. But just to show you a capability, you could say thanks. So it knows it did a good job, and I think it did do a good job. And if it doesn't do a good job, you could say like not quite right because, and then you could describe the gap and try again.
okay.
In this case, I think we want to reinforce it did a good thing. So if we ask it to do this again, it does it the same way. And so I
Yeah.
say, thanks. Now, please create a new file in the same folder. And it can name it itself, but let's just tell it what to name it, like named uh, an prep.txt. That's just a pure text file, which is what I prefer. It is capable of
Yeah.
making Microsoft Word documents if you insist. And
Yeah.
so and add your summaries and analysis and whatever what to be
I think
thinking.
I think summaries and analysis it's okay, right?
Yeah, although there is the third point about what to be thinking about the workshop.
Okay.
Sorry. Uh,
No, no, that's okay. And what well, let me just copy and paste this here.
yeah, that's what I
Good.
do. Uh,
Yeah.
but
Okay.
uh,
Let's
yeah.
wait.
That's it. So so let's go to the folder, I think, because I can hardly contain myself. Uh, oh, goody. So we've got one, two, three, four, five, six, seven. So any moment now, we should see. Oh, wait, it
The new
might ask for
folder.
permission. It's probably going to ask for permission. Like, am I allowed to make a new file?
Yeah, but when it does, it appears here,
Oh,
down
good.
here to me. So
Oh, there it is.
let's
Look.
just check.
Yeah.
Let's just check. No, it's still,
Oh,
well, it says,
it's done.
uh,
It added the prep document.
oh
I,
yeah,
I saw it. There it is.
here?
Yep, I think that's it because that's
Okay.
new.
Yeah, it's new. Oh, good.
Ta-da!
Wow, this
So
is
no,
so cool.
so you've got it can make documents, and then if you want, you can now get. So I like this because everything we just did is agent first. It's pure text. It created text. Now, if you want to do something else with the text, it's like really easy to have it reason about this and copy and paste and recombobulate the text. But now let's say that you're doing a presentation at the
Okay.
workshop, which is something that you do a lot as a PhD candidate and a professional.
Yeah.
And so I would say thanks. Now make me a 6 slide PowerPoint presentation describing the main points of this information, like in these files.
Um,
Yeah.
okay.
Yep. And that
Oh
now
my
we're getting
God,
into
this
like
will save my life. If it makes PowerPoint.
I know it's like, oh my God, PowerPoints, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That's now we're that this gets to be where we actually live. Ah, there we go. Um,
Should
yep.
we check the folder
Well, not
or
yet, but
okay.
I would encourage you to look at what it's saying. So do you see what it's doing now? So it's literally going and getting it's running Python and it's going to get code, and the code that it's getting allows it to create PowerPoint. This is very, very interesting. So what we could have had there is like 15 spreadsheets of like the financials of like public infrastructure that you're analyzing for compliance or something like that.
Yeah.
And then you could say like, help me do like a scattergram of, cost overruns for like power plants in like the Pacific Basin or whatever, or like outside of Brasilia, and it would infer that it would go and download like math and like science and like NumPy or different sorts of code directories. It would then create the code. It would do the analysis until it liked it, and then it would read the analysis. It might download other code or change the analysis until it got what you had asked for, and then it will deliver the outcome. So what it's doing right now is kind of mundane in one sense. It's just downloading code necessary to create PowerPoint, and that maybe doesn't seem different. What's fascinating is it's now almost no additional cost for it to create code to do processes that it previously didn't know how to do in order to achieve the goal that you have set for it.
Yeah. So it was created here, but it is also it's running now, right? It's not there yet.
The generator script is in place. I'm running it now. Yeah, so it looks like it's now got everything ready. It already knows
Okay.
what the slides are going to be, so it's done that part. And now there's nothing. It's so this would be if it was a human, this would be like I found and I have double-clicked PowerPoint. It's now booting up. Would be the equivalent
Okay.
place where it was. So it has to wait
Okay.
until it's run the code, and then when it has the code going, doing some nice stuff here. It's adapting, by the way, in a good way. Then it will then hit the right um, uh, basically kind of like computer buttons in order to create new slide, create new slide, create new slide, and then like print the the content into each one, and then like save it on into the drive, like it into the same folder. So, oh, it says the deck is finished generating. I'm doing a quick file check to confirm. that the file type is correct. Very good. Nice hygiene, very polite, very
Yeah,
competent. The deck finish printing. Okay. So I believe if we go there, we're going to see a
a
brand
PowerPoint.
new PowerPoint. Oh my
Wow,
goodness.
it's here.
What? Workshop prep. Oh my goodness. What on earth could be in here? Let's take a look.
Yeah, let's take a look. I'm quite anxious now because PowerPoint is one of my problems. Oh,
Same.
look at that.
We might want to move my
Oh
video
yeah,
a
yeah.
little bit.
Sorry, I'm so fascinated that
No worries. Shared theme. So let me just see. The shift of tools.
yeah.
Human lawyers remain essential. This is legit so far, at least slide five, I believe. I agree, are some shared themes. Uh, is that the last? Oh, and what does it say on six? Oh, big questions. Okay, so this is good. It's, by the way, is correctly inferred. What we probably want reflects the questions that we asked. I guess so. I mean, I didn't think about it. I just wanted to show that it can make slides, but it's making intelligent judgments based on relatively little information, which is
Yeah,
nice.
yeah,
If
yeah.
we
And it can probably prompt like give me visual slides and with colors green and orange, etc. So it looks like, McKinsey presentations or something. So
Absolutely. It's great with style, it's great with voice. And if we had wanted different substance, we could just have gone back or we could go again to say that's good. But what I really want is a deep dive into the political economy analysis of what it
okay.
means when law firms change. Or what I really want is you to like delete slides, two and four and replace them with something blah, 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 or to
Yeah.
add like seven more slides that are just on this topic. And then you could start stacking the things. So you could say something like, do web research that's built into all of these agents
Yeah.
and get the up-to-date information on what the total economic impact is considered to be for these whatever these AI native law firms, and then create three new slides that talk about that, and then do further web research based on that and find out the AI policy and public policy implications and give me the top four with citations for those. And then you could start to look at this visually as a slide deck if you're into that sort of thing.
Yeah. 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 That's great.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
so I think this is good. So what else do you think we should cover? So for our friends and colleagues that are coming to this workshop and they are going to be using Codex, but they haven't really used it before. Any other
Yeah, like
learnings that you
me.
have? Yeah.
So first of all, I think everyone should breathe because as you, I have never ever used agent before, and now I'm doing it in front of you. So this is something. And one thing that I would like to say is that please or do exactly as we said, because at first I went to my chat GPT and I tried to use Codex from here and it didn't work quite as well. So please use a computational law website and find the link, etc., etc. It will make your lives very easier if you just follow our steps.
Oh, yeah, thank you for that. And there it is right up there at the top left. It says Get Codex Desktop. So for the Codex bound people, you just click that link, just like Marcella did. If you're a Claude Code person, download Claude Code. And if you, by the way, one other pro tip, just to carry forward the wisdom and insight that was hard earned, but by Marcella that tried some different ways to do it. If you don't have a subscription to OpenAI and you don't have a subscription to Anthropic, but you still want to play, you don't need to spend the $20. And so if you're a student or for any other reason you don't feel like another subscription in your life, you can download, if you scroll down a little bit, Google Anti-Gravity, it's called. Yeah. And for the moment, at least, hopefully still on Monday, it's free. So they give you a certain number of credits where you don't need any paid subscription. Above a certain amount, you'll have to start paying them their Gemini subscription, which I think starts at $19 or $20 a month, like the others. But this one, unlike Claude and unlike Codex, yeah, they actually give you some free subscriptions for Gemini in anti-gravity desktop. And incidentally, they also, little known fact, have a deal with Anthropic. So it actually has Claude as one of the options in anti-gravity. So you can kind of get Claude or Gemini if you download anti-gravity, and you get them both for free.
Cool. Okay,
Cool.
great. I think we covered everything, haven't we?
I think we have. So thank you so much, and I'm really looking forward to seeing you
Thank you.
again in the United States for the workshop on Monday. And thanks for being such
Yes.
a good sport and doing a public service by sharing with people your learnings.
Thank you. And thank you for the patience you had until this point, because I know it must be hard to look at my mistakes, but I'm really happy to be here and to expose myself like that, because we are all learning together, right? So thank you,
Indeed.
Daza. Thank you.
Thank you. We're all running together, and you've been brave and a good example for how we should all be. So everybody, be like Marcella. Thanks. Bye bye now.
Bye.